Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This week I wanted to do a week of reading like anticipated new releases. I have a page in my reading journal that talks all about my anticipated new releases, except when I made this spread, I think I started on it last year. I have learned so much more about my reading taste literally just in the past, we're in July now, okay, 7 months. And so a lot of my anticipated new releases, like I'm actually not anticipating them anymore. Like one of them being Leather and Lark. I don't know if I'm gonna read that because I did not love the first book. So I kind of regretted putting it in here. But one book I am interested in reading is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. And I don't even have that in here, you know what I mean? I do have Not in Love, which is what I'm currently reading. I also want to read this book by Catherine Center. So there are some new releases on here that I do want to read. But like, okay, the new book by Liz Tomford, Play Along. Well, I don't even know what series that's part of. I don't even know really why I put it in here because I have never read anything by her. And actually, the more I hear people talk about it, I'm like, I actually don't know if I would spend money on the book because I don't think I would like it. So anyway, all that to say, I need to reassess my new releases and spend an entire week just reading new releases and seeing how I feel about it. And I'm gonna try to read new releases that were just released in like May or June. So it'll be a genuine new release. Although I feel like anything that is kind of released in the past 4 months, I kind of consider a new release because it does feel new. Either way, I just want to spend some time reading some new releases, reading some new authors, so that I can really get a feel for what books I should be anticipating and what books I shouldn't be. Not in Love doesn't really go in that category though. It like got absolutely soaked today while we were swimming, so that is unfortunate. I feel like it adds character, so I'm not that mad about it. I'm only 82 pages in this. I started this book in my 24-hour reading challenge. If you guys haven't watched that, please go watch it, and also subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave a comment. Like that is genuinely the best way to support me. If you enjoy watching my content, I would really appreciate that. I think that first stop needs to be going to Barnes because I feel like I actually haven't been buying very many books lately. I also feel like because I wasn't that excited for any of the new releases, I just feel like no good books have been coming out lately, which I know that's not true. Like there have been plenty of good books, but the ones I had on my radar, I haven't been excited for, so then I'm like, well, now what am I supposed to do? I feel like we need to go to Barnes and just kind of peruse and kind of just discover some fun new books that are new releases. So let's go. Okay, I made it to Barnes & Noble, and I'm actually, I think, most excited to like look at the Christian section, even though I know I'm supposed to be looking at new releases, but I've really been in like a Christian mood lately. So I need to kind of maybe figure out a way that I can implement that into a video. If that's something you guys want to see, let me know. Anyway, we're gonna go into Barnes now.
Love like wildfire, I was your entire world until I stood alone in a storm. You took the sunshine, the flames are gone now, and I watched you walk straight out of that door. Promises got lost in the dust, your boots by the door, you're not coming.
Okay, my camcorder died, so I don't know exactly what my last clip was when I was in there, but let's do a little haul. I actually am kind of sad because I think I may have gone overboard because for my birthday, for turning 27, I have this like grand idea in my head that I'm gonna do like 27 books for turning 27, and I plan to make it a very big deal. Like I plan to talk about it a lot and just like be very excited about it. So I have been really trying, it may not seem like it, but I have been really trying to not buy a lot of books because I'm like, well, when it comes to August, what am I gonna buy? Like, what am I gonna read? What am I gonna, you know what I mean? See the predicament I'm in? Like, I feel like I'm not gonna have 27 books. I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I don't even have 27 book ideas. So anyway, let's do a little haul. I picked up Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands because, oh my goodness, the first book, the Encyclopedia of Fairies, I was obsessed with it. Like, 5-star book. I loved it so much. I was also waiting for the paperback version because I love the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition paperbacks. But then I was like, well, that means for the 3rd book, which is already like out for pre-order, that is a book I'm highly anticipating. That comes out. The 3rd book is going to come out in hardcover. So I was like, I might as well just get the hardcover in the 2nd book because I've also been wanting to read it. Notes on execution. This sounded so intriguing. Ansel Packard is scheduled to go bye-bye in 12 hours. He knows what he's done and now awaits execution, the same chilling fate he forced on those girls years ago. I think this is through the eyes of a woman who knows him. I cannot wait to read that, okay? And you guys are probably like, Kyra, none of these books are new. What are you doing? Yeah, we're gonna get there, okay? Next book, The Things We Cannot Say. I've been wanting to kind of dabble in historical fiction because the obsession I had with Auschwitz growing up, Germany, Nazis, the Holocaust, and Anne Frank growing up. Why did like a lot of us have an obsession with Anne Frank at the age of 12 years old? I have no idea. So I feel like I need to dabble back into my historical fiction roots. So I picked this up. I've heard great reviews on this specifically. Then I picked up The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I've been waiting to pick this up because I wanted paperback. I'm sorry, but that hardcover was flipping gigantic and I was like, I can't do it. I just simply can't. So I waited for it to come out in paperback and here it is. And then I picked up People We Meet on Vacation because you guys, I sat on this very camera and told you guys I love 28 Summers because they meet up every summer and it's very juicy and it's very interesting. This has the same premise where they meet during the summer only. Why didn't you guys tell me that? I had to just figure out for myself in here. And we have a lot of Emily Henry stans in the comments every time I talk about Emily Henry. So I just can't believe, like, I was like, wow, I mean, can I even trust you guys? Because you did not tell me. Now for new releases. I don't know why my Barnes didn't just have a table of like straight up boom new releases. It was like sci-fi new releases, mystery new releases, but like, where are the girly cute fun new releases? They didn't even have them like out on a table. They were fully shelved. So I kind of was like, oh, I wish that they were like out and about. Anyway, I picked up Happily Never After. This is a fun premise because they basically hire someone who, like, you know how during a wedding ceremony there's like an objector? Okay, well there's like an objector you can pay to come to your wedding and object the wedding, so like you don't have to marry that person. That's kind of the premise of this book. I try not to, I like to go into most of my books blind, but that's what I know about it so far. And for some reason I have in my head that Lynn Painter is like a no spice author, which gives me comfort. Another new release is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Did you guys know that Christina Lauren, they're two different people, Christina and Lauren. I discovered that like last year, I think. Basically, there's an inheritance that he wants, but he's not allowed to have it unless he's been married for 5 years happily. And I guess the woman that he's married to, he has not been married to happily, so he needs to like reconvene with her and figure it out. Final new pickup, which I'm so excited about, is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. And I love how the title is literally Summer Romance. Like, she just gave it to us straight. Like, this is a summer romance. I actually didn't even read what the back was about. Like, I genuinely didn't. I love her covers. They're so pretty. This is like one of my favorite covers, I think, now of the books that I own. This and Paradise Problem. Like, they're just stunning, gorgeous books. And this one is about a woman whose husband left her. Very intriguing. So that's my haul. See you guys at home. I was gonna go to Sephora, but it's only 8. It's 8:07, and the one next to me closed at 7. Like, I thought that was kind of weird. I feel like that's kind of early. But regardless, we can go eat. Update. I think I'm gonna DNF. Not in love. I know. I cannot believe I'm saying that. I feel like for a long time, Ali Hazelwood was like my favorite author. I'm having a very hard time with this one. I got to chapter 13, page 140, 40% through. Basically no part of it that I care about. And to me, it doesn't feel like the other Ali Hazelwood books that I've ever read. Like, this one feels different. This one feels so cringy. Like, it feels young and youthful, but like with a millennial spin on it in the most respectful way possible. If you understand that vibe, like it is giving like Galaxy leggings a little bit. His business partners are trying to get this business, basically, Klein. I just really am having a hard time like caring about it or even understanding the process of like this hostile takeover situation that's kind of happening, investors, like how all of that works. I don't feel like it has been explained properly what's actually happening. And maybe that's like a me problem, like I'm not educated in this. I also feel like throughout the book, so like we'll be talking about the business side of it and like the problems that they're having and kind of like the trust that they, like kind of how they don't have trust with each other and they're definitely trying to steal it. She has something to hide, like there's this back and forth. But then like you turn the page and it'll suddenly be like, you can tell where she was trying to give the characters depth and be like, oh, when she was a kid, this happened, da 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 da. And it's like, the story is not intertwining for me. It feels very compartmentalized. Like, here's the romance, here's the business problems. Okay, now here's the depth of the characters. And it just doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like there's no way this is, like, it just doesn't feel believable. And I thought about just like pushing through. I'm not loving this anymore. And honestly, it makes me want to reread The Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically because I loved both of these books. I think I rated both of them 5 stars or like a 4.54, either way. And now it's making me question, like, did I just mature and now I actually don't like her writing? I don't know, but I remember really liking these. It's just making me question everything. But I guess this is also the fun part of like maturing as a reader. Like what you may have liked a year ago reading, you read new things that kind of open your eyes to different writing styles. Like I feel like that's what Ellen Hildebrand did. Like I tried really, really hard to love Emily Henry's writing style. And some parts I do really like it, but I feel very disconnected from her books. Like I'm reading it, the writing is beautiful, but my personal experience with it is not like that 5-star, like hitting my soul. You know what I mean? But I can appreciate the art for what it is. I can appreciate the writing for what it is, but like my personal rating is a little bit different. I don't know if I'm gonna hard DNF it or like do a soft DNF is what they call it, where you are not like saying you'll never read it or never pick it back up, but maybe you just like need a break from it or it's not the right time. So you don't want to like give it a bad review if it was just like at the wrong time, you're not vibing. But I'm in a big reading mood. Like I really want to read, but every time I pick this up, I swear I spend 5 minutes on one page just being like, I am fighting to get through this book. I'm surprised I even made it as far as I did. And I will say so far 40% in, there was only one spice scene, which is very skippable. I need to take a shower. So yeah, it's not that it's like too much. I mean, I wonder like once they do get together, right? Like they have to eventually get together, if it will be too much, but I don't know. I'm not bought into it. So I think I'm gonna start something else. I cannot believe that. I'm like actually sad about that. But I even felt that way. Well, you know what I did like? I did really love Check and Mate by her. So I don't think my love for Ali Hazelwood has gone down. I think that just certain books I like more than others, which is normal. Because I also read Bride, and Bride kind of feels the same vibe as Not in Love. Like these two and Check and Mate, which I have somewhere, and Bride and Not in Love kind of feel the same vibe. And so anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Maybe I need to do a video where I reread some of my 5-star reads from my first year of reading or whenever to see if I still like them or if my taste has changed. But in the meantime, let's pick a new book from the books that we bought at Barnes. I think we might do Summer Romance. It smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna start this and I'll come back with updates. Summer Romance last night at like literally 2 in the morning, and I had to stop myself from continuing to read because I downloaded it on my Kindle and there were so many good parts that I wanted to underline or highlight. So I was like, I'm just gonna put it down, go to sleep, and restart in the morning. So I have my pen and I'm gonna actually read the physical copy of this one for sure because I feel like I love her writing so far, and she says so many things that are so relatable and like hit that like little niche emotion. I feel like I always talk about that in my videos, but I love books that emphasize those super niche experience emotions. So yeah, it's going great. I really like it so far.
Love like wildfire.
So I stood there crying about the way Pete was looking at me and also not. So much said in so little words. Okay, I finished Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I'll give all my thoughts at the end of the video, but I will just say this really quickly. This is the book of the summer. If you want to know spice, proper romance, this is the one. This is the one. I just finished it. I'm obsessed with it. Moving on to our next book. I think next I'm gonna read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I always get kind of nervous after I really loved a romance book to move on directly to another romance book because I try not to compare them, but I kind of have to read this because this is the book that I bought for the video. So we're gonna start this today.
Was your entire world until I stood.
I cannot tell a lie. I started The Paradise Problem last night at 10 p.m. and I read half of it in one sitting until 2:30 in the morning. This book is so good. I have never read a Christina Lauren book before, and I am genuinely, truly blown away by the writing. This is like a rom-com in book form. I've also never read a rom-com book. I've heard that Lynn Painter is kind of like the queen of rom-com books, but you guys, this is so good. I walked by this at Target like weeks ago and I was like, I'm just not really that interested. And then for this video, I was like, well, I guess I'll pick it up because it's an anticipated new release and it's romance and it fits the book video and it fits the video I'm trying to film. Oh my goodness. Like, I really, really love this. I am giggling. I am laughing out loud. I am like gasping, shocked. And I am not like a very audible reader. I mean, a book has to be really good to get me to laugh out loud. It is so funny. Like, I don't know what it is about the comedy style of this. I guess matches up with like a sense of or a form of my comedy style that I really like or think is funny. I am just like so genuinely shocked by this book because I did not think I was gonna like it that much. I thought I was gonna be like, oh, 3 stars. No, this is like a 4.5 right now. It is very funny. Also, I love that in the kind of like synopsis rundown of the book, they don't give too much away, which I think is perfect. I actually thought that the book was going to be completely different from how it actually is. Our female main character, Anna, is crazy. She is so funny. Her character is so very out there. You know who she reminds me of character-wise is like Izzy on Grey's Anatomy. Izzy's kind of wild. She's fun. She like says what's on her mind. She is like comfortable with her sexuality. Like, it's just really, really great, really funny. And I'm eating it up. I like could not wait to read as soon as I woke up this morning.
You took the sunshine, the flames are gone now. I watched you walk straight out of that door.
Hello, my loves. Best granola bars ever. I know that this is a reading video, but we have a little bit of a haul. In the hobby video I uploaded, you guys said you want to see any hobby related stuff. It'll just be sprinkled in. Ooh, so these are really cool because... Did my kids walk behind me? These are all like clear... Oh, here's a better on the back. You can see. They're all like clear stickers. These are like little foam stickers. Faith was talking about these because it can help like anything you cut out, like any words or paper. If you do them on like puffy foam stickers, it will like elevate it off the page and make it look really cool. So this is basically just a bunch of those. You know what I have stuck in my head? Is somebody gonna match my freak? Look how cute. I got some Lisa Frank stickers because for the nostalgia. Some ABC stickers. There's a bunch in here. Ooh, they're sparkly. I didn't realize that. But there's like a bunch in here. Color. I love getting word letter stickers because like basically every page that I do is gonna need a title. I got a clear case for my new laptop. I got a new MacBook Pro. I just wanted a case on it for some reason. I think it just makes it really chunky and like, I love it. But I also wanted to get like a keyboard cover. So pretty. Love that. I also just got some die cuts. I don't know if you guys know what die cuts are, but this is what they look like. fun. Here's some more. They go like kind of on the edges of your paper. It's really pretty. An actual die cut, like the real thing. I just picked the top rated one on Amazon, and then I saw that Faith has the same one, so I trust it. And that's gonna be really fun. Something really fun to add to like my prayer journal and to my scrapbook. More die cuts. There's washi stickers and scrapbook paper in here. There's a bunch of fun stickers too. These are perfect for like prayer journal because they're so thin that they won't make anything bulky. Tag punches. Okay, I did not know it was gonna be this big. Tag punch to where you can like put a piece of paper and it punches out this. Also got one like this type of tag. I got a little PR package from Too Faced. Oh, okay, I think it's I thought these were lip products, but I think this is their new bronzing stick. Fun. And just so you know, whatever products are not like my shades and stuff, I always add it to my giveaway box. I've done a few giveaways. I did probably like 3 or 4 last month on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me there, that's where a lot of stuff ends up going because I have literally so much. Yeah. Okay, that's my little haul.
Promises got lost in the dust. Your boots.
Okay, my little pookies. It's time for an update because I finished The Paradise Problem and I started The Ministry of Time. This book just came out May 5th or May 7th or something like that. And I have some comments. Started this video with Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, and that was a DNF. Still don't know if it's a soft or hard DNF. I'm not completely sure yet, but when I started reading this, I almost wanted to DNF it. I'm so sorry. I almost did. Am I on page 100 yet? I don't know. I've actually been listening to the audio of it. Let me figure out how far I am. Okay, I'm on chapter 3, page 71. I think there's only 10 chapters in this book, so the chapters are quite long in and of themselves. My issue with this, I've been having to listen to the audio as I read along. I have never, in my many years of reading, not understood a book to where I have to listen to the audio as I read it. I feel so dumb. Like, I don't get it. Overall, like there are a lot of parts that I'm like, okay, I'm following the story. The vocabulary in this book is way beyond my reach that I feel like I'm missing a lot of big moments because I just do not know what some of the words mean. I also find it to read a little bit clunky. She's just using a lot of words and phrases that I'm like, girl, I don't know what that means. Am I on my Kindle having to hold down on every other word trying to figure out what she was saying? Also, some of the sentences do not flow at all. They're just like she just strung together a bunch of big words. And I don't know, I'm not vibing with that. I don't like that. And I'm looking at the Goodreads reviews. I know that there's supposed to be like a big plot twist at the end. And I'm trying to not dive too deep, but I'm also like, is anyone else having this problem? I did see somebody on Goodreads said like, this author just like is trying way too hard to use big words. Okay, yes. Somebody said, I think this book was a huge letdown. The saddest part is that it has a ton of potential. Like the story, it sounds amazing. Time travel, romance, history, like it sounds like it would be great. She said, I really think this could have been great, but the pacing, as previously mentioned, was so off. Truly very little happens in the story, which is fine if you want to explore themes through more mundane day-to-day moments. But I find that to be true. Like, they're drinking coffee, they're smoking a cigarette. What is actually happening in the book? On a sentence level, I also found, this felt so validating to me. I found the writing to be extremely awkward and clunky. The author loves a metaphor, and while occasionally they work, many times they make absolutely no sense if you stop and think about it for 1 second. Thank you. For example, I was a doll with no more inner intelligence than a bottle of water. Huh? Or, my knees were jumping like a pair of boxed frogs. This style of writing is constant, and perhaps simply because I do not enjoy it, it really started to grate on me after a while. I recognize this is one area of the book that others might simply overlook. I, however, could not. Yes, it is so weird to me reading this that it's actually starting to piss me off. Like, I hate reading books where it's like, you're trying to be quirky and it's just not making sense in my brain and it's too clunky for me to overlook it. That's my problem that I'm having. Exactly. Okay, yes. Along I am eating this up right now. Along with metaphors slash similes which abound, there were many strange word choices or phrases that to me felt like it was trying really hard to be poetic or profound, when perhaps the simpler word choice would have sufficed. Instead, the prose regularly took me out of the story because of how bizarre it was. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody quoted another. The erotic charge of his forearm gave me a headache. This review is exactly how I feel. I think my biggest problem, I'm continuing to listen to the audiobook because I do like it, and I feel bad DNFing 2 books in one video. I always say that make it to page 100 before you DNF. And so I'm really trying to stick to my rule of making it to page 100 before I decide to DNF. But wow, I am not a skim reader. I am the type of reader that I want to read every word on a page, and I want to understand fully what the author is trying to portray, the imagery, the metaphors, the similes. Like, I love a full circle moment. I feel like I always talk about that in my reviews. Like, give me a full circle moment. I'm eating that up. It's, I think, the same reason I like Kevin Hart's performances, because he is a very full circle. Like, he'll make a joke in the beginning, and then at the very last 5 seconds of his performance, he'll reference that beginning joke, and I just eat it up. Like, I love a full circle moment. I love a good storytelling. Like, yes, bring me through it. So I'm not a skim reader. I read every word on a page. Besides like parts where I say like, okay, I'm not liking this, I'm just skimming or whatever. But besides that, I always read the full length of a book. And with this, I'm finding myself not skimming it, like I'm fully reading the book, listening to it. Like, I'm reading as I listen to it. And there's so many points where I just want to stop and go back over, because I'm like, wait, what did that mean? Like, what is she saying? And it's so irritating because I feel like on every single page, I'm having to be like, what? I think I'm realizing that if I want to make it through this book, I'm just gonna have to let it go. Like, I don't want to spend weeks in this book trying to dissect and pull up the dictionary on every single word. I wish she just would have wrote it to where the average person can freaking understand what she's even saying. This book is really starting to irritate me. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading, but I really don't know. Okay, do I look crazy? I absolutely do, but it doesn't matter. Update on the Ministry of Time. Last night, I basically had decided I was gonna DNF it. The reason I picked this up is because Haley Pham's video a month ago that she posted on it. So I went back and watched her little segment of what she said. And she said that she also almost DNF'd it at 70%, or at page 70. I just have to say that because then it makes me feel like I need to also push through. I was like, dang it. So I've basically, this is crazy, but I decided to completely start the book over. I was like, I just feel like I need a fresh start. And it has honestly been so helpful. I'm only on page 15, but I made it last night to page, what page did I make it to? Like 100 or something? I can't even remember. I feel like it has colored in the beginning so much more. Like, from page 1 when I first read it, I've actually read the beginning 3 times now. Honestly, going over it and over it and over it and having the later pages color in the beginning, it's like, oh, I'm understanding now. But I just got to this part where I was like, this is what I mean. Page 15. He proffered the packet and then lit my cigarette with anachronistic gallantry. Sister, I don't know what anachronistic gallantry is. And even the word proffered, it's like, okay, he offered the packet. Instead of saying offered, she's put proffered, which is a word, because if you hold it down, like it tells you the definition down here. It says to hold something out. I'll be reading like, okay, yes, I get it. And then like a sentence like that. He proffered the packet and then lit my cigarette with anachronistic gallantry. And I'm just like, it takes me out of the story. And I'm like, what did I just read? Either way, I think that starting over from the beginning for the 3rd time was probably the move. This book is really giving me a run for my money. Okay, little update. I'm just here to let you guys know that I'm still reading The Ministry of Time. Like I said, I restarted it. I'm officially halfway through now. I am liking it a lot, although I do feel like there's still a ton of parts where I'm just like, I don't understand it, but I'm trying to not let it ruin my reading experience. I'm like, perfection is not the goal. I just want to understand the story best I can. The main thing that's pushing me through is that I know the end is like crazy. And I just need to know what happens. So anyway, I really hope to finish this book today. It's 6:02. I hope I can finish. I think I have like 4 more hours left in it. So we'll see.
You're not coming home. Love like wildfire. I was your entire world.
Oh my goodness, you guys, this book is putting me through the trenches. I'm finally on page 300 basically, and there's 330 pages. So I'm on the last 30 pages. Finally. I cannot wait to give you guys my final thoughts on all of these books.
Oh, heartache, you left me behind. That's not fair.
What is literally happening?
Coward gone. Now you're chasing the wind. No longer my man. You're just a You're just a
No. Okay, I'm gonna film a little bit, okay? Okay, hello my queens. It's time to do a little wrap up of all the books that I read in this video, all new releases, starting with Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I DNF'd this. I was on page 140 when I DNF'd chapter 13. This is supposed to be like Ali Hazelwood's erotic, whatever you call it. No, I'm not really messing with it like that. I might finish it and just skip the spicy scenes, but it's hard because it's not only that the spice wasn't really interesting to me, but also like the entire plot, like the entire science aspect, which I love all of her other novels, and I think that she does banter great. But I don't know, something about this one just was not working for me. I think it's a softie enough though. I think I might try to finish it at a later date. Then I read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. And you know those books that you read that just make you realize why you love reading? Or they put into perspective why a book like Not in Love is not worth your time. This was everything. This is everything that I would want in a book. It is the kind of book that you read and you're like, dang, I wish I wrote that myself. It's very bingeable. The characters just had everything that I wanted. Emotional depth, a well-rounded character. I think like the start of the relationship is how an actual like adult relationship would start. Like how the feelings progress, like not being able to stop thinking about the person, like knowing that you're falling for them. Like I want all of that. I want all of those feelings put into words on the paper so that I can like giggle and blush and be like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's no spice. And I also feel like this book will have you ready to forgive your parents of all your childhood trauma. I think that like the fact that the title of this is Summer Romance, this is genuine romance. It's not that lusty type of romance that we see a lot in the romance genre. Like I think that it's genuine acts of service, how you actually romance a person in real life. Like you know how people will be like, oh, you cannot expect a romance like in books because it's not real. But I feel like this is as real as it gets. Like these are things that you could expect a real man in real life to actually do. It's not a delusional type of romance book. There are so many. I actually need to go through and tab it because if I showed you guys, there would actually be tabs filled with this. And there's so many just parts that I loved. Like I decided the night before that I'd make my mom's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies for breakfast. That's the sort of thing she'd do all the time. Break up the monotony of life by doing something fun and unexpected. And I feel like that's the exact type of mom I am. Like let's have ice cream for breakfast. Let's have ice cream for dinner. Let's stay up late. Let's have a picnic in bed. This part made me like, this is also, that was on page 2. On page 3, so Allie is married to Pete. Or divorcing. They're in the middle of a divorce. Allie says, so I stood there crying about the oatmeal, about the way Pete was looking at me and also not. Or the way that when somebody you love looks at you like you're just an absolute idiot and is looking at me like, truly, I am capable of nothing. I'm neither easy nor fun. And that's just on page 4. This part, like, I could cry just reading this over. How is it possible that I am a professional organizer who doesn't even make a grocery list? I ask myself this question and I hear it in Pete's voice. He's asked me this before, and I can't remember how I explained it to him. You'd have to be there. You'd have to sit through a whole day of my life right inside my head to understand how that's possible. I'm not sure I understand it myself. And I feel like that is so motherhood when you have people around you that don't understand all that motherhood entails. Like, you would have to be in my brain to understand how I could be a professional organizer and not make a grocery list. You would have to be me. And that's really hard. It's really hard for people who don't understand to get them to understand you. Some people just are not willing. And Pete is trash of a man, let me tell you. And also, Allie's mom has just died. And Pete is the type of man where his love is very transactional. And so there's a part in the book where she says, love is not if you clean the kitchen, I'll help you through your grief. Love is regardless of what you do or what you can offer me, I have chosen to love you every single day. That's the choice that I've made, and I plan to act on that. But Pete is very transactional, whereas Ethan just loves her for who she is on the inside, and anything physical that she can do for him is just extra. And I think that is just such a special way to look at relationships. And if you have a spouse that sees you that way, not for everything that you can do for them, but for just the person that you are, like, that's when you know you have a good one. This is just like, I feel like this is required reading for all men. Okay, I feel like I just went on about that book for too long. Then I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and I genuinely was not going to include special content. Wait. I didn't see that. Where? I need to read the last little part because I got an exclusive edition. I didn't even realize till now. This book had me laughing so hard. I think the main character in this, her name's Anna, and she reminds me so much of, did I say this already? I think I already did. But she reminds me so much of Izzy Stevens on Grey's Anatomy. Just very quirky and outgoing and fun and hilarious. I don't think there's ever been a book that like actually made me laugh out loud. Like, there's been books that make me gasp or cry, but as far as laughing out loud, like, that's kind of hard to portray humor through a book. And I think that they did so good. Like, there were so many times where it's just so flirty and so fun, and the setting of them being on an island is just perfect. Like, and then all of the family drama, like, it was a really great book. Like, I really enjoyed this. Oh, I just realized I wasn't saying star ratings for any of them. So obviously Not in Love is a DNF, and then I would say Summer Romance is like a 5-star read, and then I would say The Paradise Problem is a solid 4 stars. Okay, and the book I finally finished today. This book put me through it, okay? From having to restart the beginning of it 3 separate times, getting to page 70, and then going all the way back to the beginning. Wow, okay, this one was a lot, and I think that I'm settling on a 3-star for this, because I don't think that just because a book is quirky, it deserves a higher rating. Just because a book uses a more vast vocabulary does not mean it's a 5-star book. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you can feel like, oh, because it was different or a different premise, it deserves more stars. But like, at the end of the day, I think that she could have written this in a much more easily understandable way. At the end, she actually says that she originally just wrote this for like her 5 friends, and it ended up getting published. I don't know how that happens exactly, but I enjoyed the premise. But I will say, this is not a book that you are going to zoom through, at least in my opinion. I don't think this is a book that you read in 24 hours. I think this is a book you take slowly, because I will say Graham, which is like basically the main male character, he has a very interesting personality because he's coming from the past, 1847. So he's coming from 1847. So his personality is very different. I do think that she did a good job of giving all of the characters that are from the past personalities that match with history versus giving them like modern day personalities. And I also respect that he did not give the female main character, although I think this is set in 2023. She didn't give her such a modern personality that it feels so like Gen Z vibes, you know what I mean? And I think that I probably missed a lot of key clues and little sneaky things that the author weaved in, because I'm like, I don't know what you are saying, sister. Like, remember earlier when I read from some of the Goodreads reviews? Yeah, like, what does that mean? Like, literally, what do you mean? What are you saying? And that can be really frustrating when you're reading a book, honestly. Just being like, literally, what is happening? Like, please speak clearly and succinctly to me because I don't know what you're saying. I think I'd give her 3 stars. I think that you should read it if this premise is interesting to you. Time travel, they call it a time travel romance, but now that I finished it, I think that the romance doesn't really happen until like literally 75% into the book. So I'm not sure that you would call this a romance. It's supposed to be a mashup of multiple genres. The last 2 pages though made me bawl, like literally made me bawl. And this is why I think like, okay, this is such an interesting, because I do not read books like this. So I'm literally like, what do you mean, Kellyanne Bradley? What do you mean by this book? I think that now that I've read to the end, I think that this is a book you're supposed to read over again with the end in mind. If you grew up with like any kind of childhood trauma, she basically talks about how having hope for the future and forgiveness for your past is a form of time travel in and of itself, because, no, I'm gonna cry. Because when you forgive your past, you're basically taking your past self and being like, it's okay, the future is brighter, the future, it's actually better because you have hope for yourself, and that's like time travel. That's a form of time travel. And I just thought that was really a very neat perspective, and I really appreciated that. I do wish though that I don't know, I felt like that theme wasn't really woven throughout the book. Like we didn't really get that to the end, and so yeah, 3 stars. But read for yourself and let me know what you think, because this was a very interesting book. Really, this is them as soon as the camera is turned off. Oh, it's zooming in. And also, 1 chicken. Oh, the other chicken's behind me.
I heard that camera go off, I went, Yahoo!
Okay, so that's into this video anyway, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. No, I go like this, I go.